everyone. The past 2 weeks, I've been doing a little bit different types of video. They were really focused around self-development, self-reflection. And this video today will also be about that. And I have Sovereign joining me today. Hi, Sovereign. You already know her from a previous interview that we did together. And she's just here to hold the space and do the exercises with me. And today I want to do a reflection of 2021 and do something that will start 2022 and like some goal that you create for yourself. I am not a big person in New Year's resolution, but I'm a big into reflection and putting new energy and starting fresh the following year. So that's why today me and her were like, okay, let's just do this little video, whatever works for you. But even if you just do the 2 minutes that we were doing, you will actually get so much out of it. It will just set you up in a different energy, different vibe, different mood. Also, our brain doesn't think of the good stuff. It usually just focuses on the negative. So this will really help for you to connect of how much you actually accomplished this year. And I guarantee you it's a lot more than what you can think of at the moment. You can do the exercise along with us. There will be a total of 8 questions that will answer both the reflecting, including reflection, and 2022 goals. So yeah, let's get started. And do you want to say anything else to us, Sovereign, before we start? I don't want to just have you there in the background.
I'm fine. I'm super excited to reflect and to put some new energy. I also am not big on New Year's resolutions. I see things as like very a lifelong process. So I'm excited to put some new energy into this year and continue to build on some of the things that I, have done in this past year. So
great. All right. So everyone go on your own pace. You can always pause the whatever question you are on. If you need more time, we are going to do 2 minutes. We're going to give each other 2 minutes to answer. And I think this is the interesting part. Neither one of us have done this exercise before, just so you know. So you really be raw and in the moment. I am planning tomorrow to go into deeper, doing this exercise even deeper than I'm going to be doing it during this video. But I think that's the part you'll find interesting that we haven't really thought about it. We were like, let's just do it. And like 30 minutes ago, and we're like, okay, we're doing it. All right. So the first question, and I'm going to just make sure I have the timer set up. I do. The first question is, what do you feel you did good this year? Like, what's that like good feeling that you still have with you? And I'm starting the timer now. Okay. So time is up, and I want to say that you might struggle a little bit, like, oh, what is it? Do I feel good? But just be there. Whatever comes to mind, just jot it down. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just really relating to yourself, to your year. Okay. So, Sovereign, would you like to go first?
Yes. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and read mine. What did I feel good about in 2020? What did I do well? So I pushed myself this year. I pushed my limits of what was possible for me. I launched a coaching program called the Pleasure Practice, and I ran a full cohort. And I actually felt very satisfied in like paying my bills with money that something I created just created a portal and brought it into my life. That felt very satisfying. I switched careers this year, and I'm doing really great at this new company that I'm at. So healthy, so incredible. And I began working out. I started great habits. I've learned self-care is like a necessity and not just like a side thing that, is cute, bubble baths or whatever. It's like very much a lifestyle now that's needed. I made new friends, even though I may not have met them physically, like Miljana. And we've met physically at this point, but we didn't initially meet in the physical world. So I've been vulnerable this year with myself and with others. I've shared so much, and I've gotten closer to a lot of people because of that, especially my family. And I've stopped telling myself like negative stories about how my childhood impacted me or how others impacted me. I took really a lot of ownership and responsibility this year over my life, and it was challenging, but I feel really good about that.
Wow, you've done so much, right? And that was only 2 minutes that you wrote it down. Okay, just to continue this, I wrote one of the things that I really, really felt really good about is self-care and healing. I feel like I've done so much of it this year. I went into some trauma work to deal with my past traumas, started this YouTube channel, which is probably one of the greatest feelings of a project that I've done so far, and meet someone special in my life. Also went dancing outdoors regularly this summer quite often, and that felt so good because I love dancing. Um, okay, and then I don't know what I wrote here. And oh yes, I know what I wrote. I spent time with family that I haven't spent time in a long time with, and it was felt really good to catch up. I also saw a different person of me because that was family members that I in the past couldn't felt very comfortable around them, and this time around I went and I felt so good just being me around them, and that was the greatest accomplishment. And one thing that you said was work out. I haven't been super consistent on that, but I definitely have been working out more than before, and that felt good. And also I spent time with my brother. I love him so much. It felt so good to spend time with him. Question number 2 is, um, what do you feel was your greatest accomplishment? I know this is might feel similar to the previous question, but it really isn't. So just think about it. It's a little bit deeper. And timer is starting now. Okay. 2 minutes is up.
Yay.
I'm just
This one
getting
was a
my
little,
last thought. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, do we still want to go like the same order? I go first, you go? Okay.
Go ahead.
This one was a little challenging for me. I feel like I wrote a bunch of things until I was like, oh, maybe this is the greatest accomplishment. But I think if I can boil my accomplishments down, it's having the courage to start again, and do it with compassion. I had the first memory that came up to me was just like me sitting down. I've been reading a book called The Artist's Way, and that's been keeping me creative consistently, which is huge. I've not been a consistent person in the past with these things, but I was sitting down teaching myself piano, and I kept on messing up, and I said to myself, it's okay. This is what practice is for. And I remember in that moment just bursting into tears because I felt like I loved myself so much, and I'd been like being so compassionate to myself lately in this practice of life and this practice of like piano and this practice of whatever. And I think that's my greatest accomplishment this year is like, I really felt loved by myself. It didn't feel like a chore. It felt like I feel like I'm my friend. So I think that's like my biggest accomplishment this year is just like genuinely feeling like, whoa, I do love myself and I'm kind and compassionate.
Wow. And now that you said that, I thought of part B of this question, I'll call it. And what will you do to celebrate that?
Oh, that's actually a really nice question.
It can be something so tiny little thing, but you'll just be like, oh my God, I'm celebrating this.
Yeah. I'm going to buy myself a moleskin journal. That's the thing. Yeah. Last time when you asked me that question, I went and bought 5 of these necklaces that I like. And I think I'm going to go and get myself a moleskin journal because I just love their journals and they're so luxurious. They're like expensive and nice. And I think that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And just to give everybody an idea, it doesn't have to be like that something sovereign chose. You can literally be like, I'm going to take a bath and I'm going to celebrate a accomplishment. So it can be as luxurious as you like it to be, or as simple and like free as you like it to be.
Yeah.
Okay, for me.
Yeah, not luxury.
Yeah, I don't see what you said to be luxurious, but I just felt like I should put it out there because, everybody can interpret this in so many different ways. Okay, what do I feel I have accomplished this year? So first is trusting myself and the universe. That has been the hardest thing for me. And I feel like the work that I've been doing on myself, and it wasn't just 2021, just to clear that out, I've been working on myself for quite a while now. And to accomplish that this year, it felt good. And I think there's still work to be done there, but it still feels good. And then also the confidence to share myself, start a YouTube channel and actually be able to be vulnerable and just put it out there. It's a major accomplishment because I've been desiring that for so long, and I'm finally there. I can finally do it. And also to be around people and not feel ashamed of who I am and not having it all figured out at 30 something. I've always felt like I should have certain things by now, something, there should be certain way. I should have my finances fully figured out. And guess what? I don't have all those things figured out. Like certain things I do and certain things I don't. And it's okay. And it's okay to also share it, even if you feel judged by other people. And yeah, I think that was about it. Oh yeah, one more thing. Create boundaries. That's something I didn't really know how to do in the past, and I'm learning to create boundaries for myself and others. All right, let's go to the next question. And question number 3, what worked for you? And what I mean by what worked for you, I mean if you create a certain habit or a certain way of being that worked for you, write it down this year. If timer is starting now. Okay. Time is up. Um, okay.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Cool. So, what worked for me this year? I have a few lists, but I'll expound on a few of them. So, deciding things and then taking care of the afterfall afterwards, instead of analyzing parallel. Just in a cycle, just deciding and going forward and seeing what happens, and trusting that it'll all be okay. Seeking out support, surrendering to love, meaning like if something feels good, to let it feel good and don't suffocate it, or don't try to analyze it or try to say what's wrong here, I mistook peace for feeling nothing. Sometimes I didn't realize that. So surrendering to this feeling of peace and being at ease. Advocating for myself, that just might mean asking questions, and so that I make sure I understand the person and we're on the same page. Showing up, just like showing up, being like, I don't know, I'm just going to show up and just trust that everything will be okay. Taking like extreme ownership and responsibility over everything. Everything that happens in my life is my fault, and it's my responsibility to make sure I'm communicating well, to make sure I understand things, to make sure I'm successful. And that might mean being resourceful. So being resourceful by collaborating with Miljana on things, or finding support and help. Not forcing things. Making sure that I know what my needs are and making sure that they're met, and that I know what the other person's needs are, and finding multiple ways to meet my needs so that I don't have to rely on one source. So if I need to feel loved, appreciated, whatever, how can I get that from family, community, a partner, myself, my projects, whatever, just listing out what I need and I've listed out 3 to 5 ways to meet all of my needs. And that's been very helpful. And then having an abundance mindset. And that means I don't release things anymore. I just add new things into my world, and then whatever's going to leave goes. So I was frustrated. I was in starting things, talking with Miljana, adding Miljana into the mix, into the conversation and helping out really helped me. That wasn't me releasing anything. It was me adding a person, a being, an idea into my head. So that to me is abundance. And then reading more books that are very practical, not just not too spiritual. For me, some things can feel too spiritual given my background, and I get lost in it given how I've been introduced to religion. And so reading books that balance me out and are very practical has been very helpful for me.
Wow, that is a very extensive list. Love it. Okay, and just to not take too much time. So to take time for myself, for me, was one of them, and prioritize myself. That's what worked for me. Also, to give a helping hand when it feels I can, and when I feel I should, rather when I feel the pressure from the outside to do it, though I can't say that I didn't feel the pressure to do that. And that it was such a big thing for me. And also to do fun things and to relax and to do my best to take things one step at a time and one thing at a time, because I tend to I'm a detail thinker, but I also think far ahead. So I'm always trying to solve so many problems or whatever. And this time I'm learning more to just, okay, this is what I'm going to do today, and the rest will wait for tomorrow. All right. So next question. And next question is, what didn't work for you this year? Or up to now. It doesn't necessarily have to be just 2021. So I'm starting the timer now. Okay, time's up.
Okay. So this is, yeah, so I'll start with mine. Making assumptions instead of clearly asking questions, clarifying questions, and understanding if we were on the same page. Sometimes if I don't do that, I will make a blessing into a curse by overanalyzing, by overthinking it because I don't know my boundary with another person or with myself. I think what didn't work also was not quitting things that I didn't want to do, but I felt like I should. And so that kind of leads into one of them where I was using my head for matters of the heart, and using the same strategies because I really wanted it to work instead of adjusting and saying, is this giving me the results that I actually want? Is this helpful? And instead of looking at it that way and then changing, my course. So those are things that just did not work for me, which I will not be moving into the next hour with those habits, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. And again, just to not take too much time, being hard on myself is one thing that didn't work for me, and it's still something that doesn't work. Learning there, um, dealing with my past, as in like challenges, it's still challenging, and my traumas, not having strong enough habits that could help me accomplish certain goals, and I call that discipline. I'm still working on disciplining myself to have a routine and create a balance. So that's another thing, like finding balance between work, personal things that I have to do, things I desire, things I enjoy doing. So yeah, like finding that balance has been a challenge for me. Okay, next question. What would you do differently based on what didn't work for you last year or almost last year? And I'm starting the timer. Okay, timer is up.
So these are some things that I've already started doing. So I guess I'm going to be building upon them because they've they've really transformed everything. But I've started reading a book called Nonviolent Communication. And so that's been helping me to communicate really well with people from my heart space. So doing that, setting boundaries up front, and always having systems and community for helping me to bring about my desires, knowing that like anything that I want to do does take a village, and to be okay to let people in, but also to respect like what I need as well. In all of my goals, love, family, everything, just like knowing what I need and kind of using this nonviolent communication. And that's been that I'm going to continue doing that. That's something that I think could have really helped me the past few years.
Okay. For me is creating accountability in different areas. And you and I are definitely doing that. So it's already in the works. And I've been starting and stopping for a while, like with different people. And sticking to a morning routine. And I think what would help me really to stick to the morning routine is to actually do it with someone, as to create a foundation for myself, but also bring somebody along and help them out as well, because we're always growing. And I think that's what you were referring to as the community. I think that's really what's missing for me, that community, so I can continue to grow. Okay, ready for the next question? Question number 6. What are 3 things that you would like to create in entirety, or start or build up on in this 2022? And I think, do you need 2 minutes for this, or would you like to do less? 1 minute. Okay, so let's just do 1 minute. And if you guys need more than 1 minute, then please feel free to pause and do it. So timer is starting now.
Okay. So I have that I would like to build an online presence and continue my community. So like building any of those up, I don't know if we're mentioning the pleasure practice, but building that up. And I would like to publish at least 24 episodes. So that's meaning biweekly. And I'd like to go on 4 international trips this year with friends or a partner.
Okay, looks like I needed more time, but I heard what you said. For me is continue to create content for my YouTube channel and introduce my Facebook and Instagram and possibly TikTok, because I have chosen to pause that for the time being. Work out regularly and create a healthier habit. I eat really healthy, but I think there's still things that I can improve on. So that would be a great improvement on my end to build up on. And travel. I would like to do at least 1 international trip this year and do 3 in the country trips this year, and break even in my project, one of my projects specifically. Actually, why not both of them? 2 projects, both of them, okay? And heal my trauma. I don't know if I mentioned that one. I think I might have said it already.
In completion, all of the trauma.
Well, I want to be reasonable, right? Like, I don't think I'll heal all my trauma in 2022, but I will definitely like to see a great progress like I did in 2021. 2021 has been a major progress in that area, and I would like to continue to see that progress, where next year, if we do this video, I can share about it. Yes, okay. And let's go on to the next question. what are 3 steps? And I'm gonna say small steps, okay? Small. It's not, go crazy here, that you could take today for you to already start accomplishing these set goals for yourself. And I'm going to do 2 minutes on this, okay? Just take your time, think about it, and if you need, again, pause it. So starting the timer now. Okay, time is up.
Cool. So I just ended up doing like one per thing. For my one for traveling, I said I can text friends if they have any trips that they're already planning that I can just join, because then I don't have to like do any of that. And then for the podcast, I've been walking around a lot and just recording things. And I was like, oh shit, these are actually podcast episodes that I've been already saying. So there's one that I have in mind that I'm going to go take a walk and I'm going to listen and think and jot down some edits basically of like what I was trying to say. Do I need to re-record this? Just kind of start brainstorming that. And then third, put time on my calendar for like how I'll be coaching so that I can see it mapped out and brainstorm some ideas for the community that I'm building, some event ideas and things that I'd like to do. Just jot them down and put them on a calendar and start just saying it's going to happen.
Okay. Good. For me, I like that you actually went by what your goals are. I actually like got a little bit in my head and I was like, oh, where do I start? So instead, I just thought overall, like what could help me to accomplish the goals. And first thing I put work and community to basically have accountability partnership and setting that up today. Like certain things like or doing them today, and you and I actually already started working on that, so it makes me feel really good. And do a deep dive of this exercise, but doing it with my team, so the people that I work with and my partner. I think that would really help to just clarify like things. What do I need? Like where should I start and all that, and then create a plan, both a short-term plan that could be weekly, to monthly, and then midterm I sometimes think of it as quarterly, but you really can think of it even in a lot shorter period of time because we get overwhelmed when we think month ahead. So it's always better to have like the short term, like daily kind of like to a week, and then midterm maybe like a month and a little bit longer, but not too long. A year, I would say it's already kind of going into a longer term one. All right, so We just had a really good laugh together. We'll take that part out because it's a little bit outside of the topic we're dealing with here. But last question, question number 8 is, what would bring ease for you to fulfill on what you just created for this upcoming year? And I'm gonna do that for 2 minutes. So starting the timer right now. Okay, timer is up.
Okay, so what would bring ease? I think for me, a big one is just community. It's always going to be that collaboration, community. Also, starting bad. And by use bad, that's not like a word that like really anybody, we don't need to be using, but letting myself be bad at things more. So starting and being like, I know it's the first draft. It's going to be not great. I know this is like, I'm playing the piano and it sounds like a 3-year-old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's fine. Letting myself be bad at things. And then also knowing that I'm not alone. So it kind of ties into the community, but asking people what they need. Instead of trying to think that I'm just the genesis and origin of all great ideas that come out and I need to like figure everything out. Like, I'm not, right? So asking people what they need, collaborating with others, and allowing myself to like, my first intention is to be bad at it so that I could just get that out the way.
I love that. I mean, that actually brought an idea for me is giving up perfectionism and just doing it just the way this video was spontaneous. Don't worry too much about it being perfect. Just do it, put it out there. So I'm going to put that as the first thing because you got inspired by you, but it's so true. And then for next thing for me that would bring ease would be flexibility. So creating a plan, but a plan that is flexible, it still has due dates and goals set, but they're not like, where I'm beating myself down, which is one of the things that I like to do. and I also like to write 1,000 things I want to get done in a day, and in reality, that's not possible. There's only so much you can do in one day, and then I don't feel accomplished. So changing that up, and weekly activities that I enjoy doing. I would say for myself, and then activities that I will do with other people that inspire me, that are loving, caring, that I inspire them, they contribute to me, I contribute to them. I think that would be something that would be very, and that would be very helpful. And the last part, not least but last, is focus on work I love doing. I think that my focus really needs to be focused on loving what I do and abundance, not worrying so much about what I don't have, but rather focusing on what I have and how can I contribute with what I have to out there.
Mm, I love
Yeah.
that. Love it.
All right. So thank you so much for joining me today and Sovereign for this exercise. I hope that you take a little bit of time and you do it. You literally can follow along with us, or you can do it in your own time. Again, thank you so much. Sovereign, do you have anything that you would like to contribute before we go?
No, it's just been such a pleasure doing this. And Liliana's absolutely correct. This has given me, I now have some priorities for today that are easy. Texting friends, listening to a podcast while I walk, and putting stuff on my calendar are three actionable steps that I can take to get towards my goal. So I'm so grateful that you asked that question and that now I have concrete steps on like that I can take, and that will give me confidence to move forward and just start the momentum.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you actually joined. Thank you for joining me and taking time of your day to do this with me. Everyone, I'm sending you a really big hug, a lot of kisses, and I wish you an amazing 2022. You can. If I can, you can. So go ahead. Trust the process. Bye-bye.